Have you ever wondered why most wealthy people end up spending so much time and effort on real estate? I'm going to show you. So, when you look at the US tax code, it is mind-blowingly complicated. Every year, it is estimated that 150,000 words are added to our tax code. But instead of looking at this complexity as the enemy, within all these changes typically are a lot of benefits for common taxpayers like you and I. And when you analyze the tax code of a country, you learn a lot about the nation. You very easily see what are the activities that the government is trying to incentivize. And in the case of America, it's very clear. There are two types of taxpayers that are protected and given more tax benefits than anyone else. One is business owners, and two is real estate investors. And I'm going to show you how real estate may be the most tax advantaged asset class in America today. So let's start by considering buying a home for you to live in yourself, your primary residence. If you are a first-time home buyer, you can take $10,000 out of your retirement account, your IRA or your 401k, at any point at all before retirement without penalty to make a down payment on a house. Then you have the mortgage industry, which allows you to lock in a pre-specified rate for the entire period of your mortgage, which protects you if the rates were to climb. If rates go down, you always have the opportunity to refinance your mortgage. All this while, all the mortgage payments you make are tax deductible if you take itemized deductions. Even property taxes can be deducted from your taxes, which further incentivizes home ownership. And finally, when it's actually time to sell your primary residence, a home that you've lived in for at least 3 out of the last 5 years, you can get a tax break of up to $500,000 in capital gains where you don't have to pay taxes if you're a couple, or $250,000 if you're single. That's a lot of benefits to incentivize us all to buy homes that we live in. And that's why almost 2 out of every 3 Americans, 65%, live in homes they own, which is a staggering number. What about commercial real estate? Well, commercial real estate has even more tax benefits if that was possible. So if you buy a property for the purpose of business, almost everything you do with it becomes tax deductible. This includes mortgage payments, mortgage interest, property taxes, property maintenance. All of it is now a business expense and can be deducted against your income. Furthermore, rental income is not subject to self-employment taxes, which is very different because if I was making $10,000 freelancing, I would have to pay Social Security and Medicare taxes, but with real estate, I actually don't have to pay those self-employment taxes. Also, if I have a pass-through entity, like an LLC where the taxes flow through back to me, I can take a QBI deduction of up to 20% of the income. So on $10,000 in rent, I could take a $2,000 deduction on my personal taxes with commercial real estate. Then you also have depreciation. Depreciation, people joke, it's the 8th wonder of the world, and it's so powerful that we actually dedicated the entire next lecture just to talk about depreciation, so I'm going to skip it for this moment. And then finally, with commercial real estate, when you're ready to sell the property, you have 6 months, 180 days to take the amount of money you've made from selling a property, not pay any taxes, and roll the entire amount into a brand new property. This is called a 1031 exchange, and you need to identify the property within 45 days of closing the first property, but you can basically do this constantly without paying any taxes and keep upgrading to bigger and better properties without ever paying any taxes. And finally, as morbid as it may be, when it comes time for, death and your children or whoever is next in kin to inherit your property, they receive a step up in basis automatically, which means their purchase price is adjusted to the price at the time of inheritance, which means very theoretically with commercial property, you can keep upgrading and buying bigger and better properties by doing 1031 exchanges, and finally there's a step up in basis, which sometimes means there's no taxes paid at all. That's a lot of benefits in real estate. So quickly, let me recap. Real estate may be the most tax advantaged asset class in America. Buying real estate to live in has a lot of tax benefits, especially no capital gains when you sell your primary residence, which is very attractive. Commercial real estate has even more benefits, including the ability to deduct lots of expenses, depreciation, 1031 exchanges, and more. And now, join us for the next lecture where we dive deep into the eighth wonder of the world.